Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to discuss how endorphins may be keeping you stuck. No. If you've been around this channel for more than 2.5 minutes, you know that something I love to talk about is the payoff. An emotional payoff. A secondary emotional payoff. There must be some reason. If you're stuck in a neurosis, if you're stuck in engaging with reality in a maladaptive, unhealthy way, there must be some reason why you're doing it. It's not that you're stupid. It doesn't take that much intelligence to see, a favorite example of mine, waking up in the morning, instead of studying calculus for 2 hours, you get lost on YouTube for 2 hours. It doesn't take you that, it's really easy to see, this isn't going to be helpful. This isn't going to take me in the direction that I want to go. Or if there's some attractive woman, let's say, in that calculus class, why do you continue to not ask her out, or even not talk to her, or even not even say hi? Clearly this is not getting you what you want, yet you still do it, but you're in a calculus class, so it's not like you're dumb. Well, the reason is there's a payoff. Probably my favorite example or story that I use from a former client. If somebody was banging on your neighbor's door at 4 a.m. trying to wake them up, waking up in effect the whole neighborhood. This did happen to somebody. Waking up in effect the whole neighborhood, it doesn't make any sense. Why would somebody do that? But then you put one variable in there. Heroin. Oh, they're a heroin addict. Oh, your neighbor's a heroin dealer. Okay, so that's why they're banging on the door for him. Now it all makes sense. Waking up in the morning and getting lost on YouTube instead of doing work, or continue to walk by an attractive female who you may want to talk to and not saying anything. This doesn't make any sense. But then we put another variable in there called emotions, called an emotional payoff. You get some payoff by not engaging in these activities. And the point about the payoff that I want to get to is it doesn't have to feel good. We'll talk about endorphins here in a couple minutes. It can feel good, but it doesn't have to feel good. And in fact, feeling bad may in fact lead to feeling good. That's how endorphins work. But some pretty popular payoffs are things that make you feel bad, like overeating. If you actually eat a lot to the point where you feel pain, just like a hurt in your stomach, like, why do I keep eating these freaking Oreos? It is hurting me. What is going on? It doesn't have to feel good to get addicted to it. All it has to be is a strong feeling, a strong emotion. I'm not even sure if it's a feeling sometimes. It can be. Typically shame, which not technically an emotion. Go get my book. It's more of an affect than anything else. It's an affect as a result of emotions. Doesn't matter. But that overeating, that's like a real sense of pain that you're putting yourself through. And you can become addicted to that pain. Another example is cutting. This is very common with a lot of young women. Since the 90s, since like maybe the early to mid 90s, there's some cultural reason for that. And I'll elaborate on that maybe for 15 minutes in a podcast. But there's probably some cultural reason for that. But there is but it's painful, right? It's painful to cut yourself. But that pain, because it's a strong feeling, you can become addicted to it, especially since it's a distraction from neurotic patterns that you're going through, from real difficult stuff that you'll want to deal with. The distraction of the pain is even better. And another example is excessive exercise, which I bring up, especially running. If you run for more than 3 miles and you're not from East Africa, you may be putting yourself in pain, and you may be addicted to that pain. My favorite sign at a marathon, somebody held up. This guy held up a sign that says, "What are you running from?" I think that's very prescient. But I think this leads into, first I want to say, so these are things that we can do to distract ourselves. These are things that we can do as payoffs to not engaging with reality in a healthy way. But there's also emotional payoffs, right? Like, so shame, often associated with cutting, victimhood, resentment, all those two go hand in hand, and really all three of those go hand in hand. And I think this helps to realize because, it really brings awareness to what you're doing. If you understand that why you do these things is because you have failed previously, whether earlier that day, earlier that week, that month, whatever, Could have been 2 minutes ago. You have failed to engage with reality in a helpful way, and you're doing these things to distract yourself from it. I think that can be really helpful to bring awareness to what you're doing. Maybe you're not some idiot. Maybe you're actually a sophisticated biological organism who, given your present range of emotional awareness, you have to do these things to distract yourself. But I think this brings us to this book I read by a psychologist from NYU, John Montgomery. Great guy. I actually had dinner with him. Really smart. And he wrote this book called The Answer Model. And it says everything that I was saying about the emotional payoff. By the way, the emotional payoff is not my original idea. I incorporated it in an original way into my theory, but that's not my original idea. But he says something extra about the emotional payoff, which I think is very important to know and has something to do with endorphins. Which is why I brought up the running example. So what do you feel when you run? When you're putting your body through pain, right? If you're running more than 3 miles, not from Ethiopia, then you're probably in a lot of pain. Yeah, you're in pain, and so what does your body do as a response? It releases endorphins, which are endogenous chemicals, endogenous hormones, neuropeptides that actually latch onto opiate receptors. They are analgesics. They make you feel less pain. They are pain relievers. So he makes this great point and goes through a bunch of examples in this book. Again, it's The Answer Model, John Montgomery. We actually give ourselves pain. We would cut ourselves. Yes, we cut ourselves for the feeling of the cutting because it's better than whatever pain and neurosis we have. Yes, we would overeat for the feeling of the pain. We can become addicted to that. But in addition to that, our body's response, our body's natural, this is an endogenous chemical, our natural response to this is to create some kind of opiate chemical. Effectively, that's how it acts. You don't think you're an opiate addict. You probably are. If you engage in any of these activities that make you feel pain, for the purpose of feeling the pain and also for the purpose of getting the pain relief at the response. It's this powerful push-pull. This emotional up and down, like this, why do people love drama so much? Because this is like this emotional roller coaster, up and down, and it just really draws us in. And that's what you're doing to yourself when you hurt yourself to distract yourself from reality, and then your body's natural response to that, the production of endorphins, you can get addicted to that as well. Like anybody, the opioid crisis, anybody can become addicted to opiates. You may be an opiate addict, even if you don't know it. And again, just like the secondary emotional payoff, I think brings awareness. Just add an extra lens. I'm just trying to give you guys, there's probably thousands of lenses I can give you guys. It's just one lens in on your behavior. What am I really doing? Why am I really doing it? Why am I really walking by that girl who I have a crush on? Why am I really, waking up in the morning, spending 2 hours on YouTube? Why am I really banging on my neighbor's door at 4 o'clock in the morning? You think it's any different? No, it's all the same. Literally the same with endorphins. That acts as a pain reliever, very much like heroin does. And that's what we work on here at Animus when we do therapy together. We show you emotional loops that you're going through. Nobody else in the history of psychology, in the history of therapy, has ever done anything like this. We nail down an emotional loop that you're going through. The secondary emotional payoff, spoiler, it's going to be part of that, but that's not what starts it. You think that, the cutting, or you think that the overeating, you think that's the problem. That's not the problem. That's usually, step 3 or 4 in the emotional loop that you go through. So that's what we do in therapy here. We break down your emotional loop, show you exactly what you're going through, look at exactly what you can do to change it. So if you want a free consultation to find out more, animusempire.com/schedule. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Tell one friend. And remember, if you're feeling stuck, it's because that's exactly what you want.